Glad you're here with me. This is a mini-sode that came through while I was skiing this weekend. If you know me well and you've been following along for a little while, you know that I love, love, love acronyms. So the acronym that I came up with this weekend is GAP, and it stands for Gear, Age, and Perspective. We're going to talk about those three things today. So if you're a mom and you love to go out on adventures, skiing, for example, being the season that I'm in right now, you know that that comes with a lot of paradoxes connected to gear, your age, and your perspective. So I'm going to do a little breakdown. We went to Big Sky, Montana for my birthday this weekend. Part of why I'm thinking a lot about age is because I just celebrated a milestone, 44. If you want to see how you can shave 10 years of your life off in a day, go and see my posts on Instagram. Maybe I'll send them out to my email list too because they've gotten a lot of attention. But the gist of it is go and do something that you haven't done in 10 years. And in order to be able to do that, you may need to do a lot of training. In my case, this was a physical feat that, for a variety of reasons, extra weight, injuries, not living in the right place or the right time, I had not done in almost a decade. So the amount of gear required to go do something, just the stuff that you need for skiing, okay? The basic one when I was growing up, skis, boots, poles, goggles, ticket. Those were the five. If you have those things, you probably have not forgotten your coat and your jacket. My children, I love their school and they talk a lot about the big five. And for them, it's snow boots, snow pants, snow jacket, gloves, and hat, right? Those are the basics if you're playing in cold weather. I believe it's the Swedes, but it might be Norwegians who say there are no cold days, only bad clothing choices. So this comes back to gear. Whatever your age, this comes back to gear and having perspective, but also having education. Often that education comes from experience. It comes from making mistakes. So this weekend we went up to Big Sky. If you're watching, you can see I'm holding up this beautiful Big Sky postcard. Check it out. If we break down this postcard, you can see that the chairlifts, just the chairlifts at Big Sky, they actually have, I don't remember what they call it, the capsule, the bubble, whatever, but they have this blue thing that you can put down over you that blocks the sun, blocks the wind, and blocks the cold. It was 3 below. If you're a child or an elderly person or someone like me who maybe struggles with blood flow, I'm pretty sure I have Raynaud's, my fingers and my toes can get cold very, very easily, and I have to pay attention to them. That's a perspective that's come with age and gear. Hand warmers are important for me. Really high quality gloves are important for me. And boot gloves are important for me. If you don't know what those are, check them out. So if we break this down, just the chairlift itself is also heated, by the way. This is awesome. This is awesome for children. This is awesome if you're elderly. It's awesome if you're 44. This is awesome at any age. So shout out to Big Sky. We would love your sponsorship, by the way. I love this mountain. Big Sky delivers. Go check out my social media posts to see some videos of skiing, and we just had such an incredible weekend there. But if we break down the little skier, what I was talking about, the goggles, the boots, the poles, all of these things, I not only have to put on myself, now that I'm a mom and I want to take my children into this, I have to put these things onto my children. The gear. How do I get them excited? Their perspective, given their small age in years, I want to create good, positive core memories. And my youngest daughter, love you, Danny. Last year, we signed her up for 13 weeks of ski lessons. So every Saturday, it was get up and go time and put on not only your big five that you need for school for being in cold country, but now you also need to put on really hard ski boots. In fact, side note about hard ski boots and how cool it is to live in Jackson Hole, I met a gal at a party last week whose father was the first one to put a patent on hard ski boots. How cool is that? And as she said, as soon as we were able to create the hard ski boot, and her dad came up with the one that was a side entry, they don't make that anymore, we were able to catch an edge. Again, all of this gear and the perspective and the age of skiing that's gotten to the place where we are today to be able to do all of these incredible things on skis today. It's amazing. And to share them with our children, but also to come back down to that very basic, fundamental, essential P, perspective. Your perspective is going to change on your age. I had a therapist who would talk about, but what age is that feeling? What age does that belief come from? And usually it's a very young age, these core beliefs. And if you've done any shadow work with me, I'm really excited. I'm going to interview one of my shadow coaching friends this week. But you know, that there are parts of ourselves that are formed when we're really, really young, those core memories about how the world works and how and why we show up in the world. As moms, we are right there, front and center, doing the best we can with our own work, but then also helping our children to develop these core memories. So if we're wanting to ski with them, we're trying to get this gear on them, and we find ourselves with a child or a chapter where it's just not working for them. Their perspective, as my dear Danny, who's in this picture right here, likes to say, is that it's just too much work. It's not fun. And what I realized this weekend is the hardest part, just like when I ran a gym, is putting your shoes on. When we're talking about ski boots, yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. So shout out to all the ski moms, you rad moms, Jackson Hole, I see you, who work so hard to share this with our children, to get them into the ski boots, to get them into the gear, to go through, ooh, wool socks are itchy, 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 I hate this feeling, to get to the place of getting them on skis, to have the experience of sliding on snow and having so much fun. And that's what I realized. And if you look at this picture, that's an 8-person chairlift. 8 people can fit on this chairlift. How awesome is that? That's your whole family. In fact, it might be 2 families. It might be a double family. And I'm so blessed that I grew up skiing. In fact, my parents stopped skiing when I was about 12 years old. Both of them stopped skiing, but the passion was there. And I continued skiing, and I had aunts and uncles who were skiing, and grandparents who were skiing. And we had this incredible family ski culture that I'm so humbled by, this adventure of your whole family being on the mountain. And here's the thing. Mountain culture in and of itself becomes a family. You'll see this if you go on my social media post. I reconnected with a friend from 2006, 2007. I haven't seen her in so many years. Hiking up Glory into the backcountry, we found each other. You find your people, and so will your children. And you get to educate them on the adventure. But the flip side is the paradox. Sometimes it's just sitting in the lodge trying to get your boots on. That's going to be true when you're 9 years old or 99 years old. That's the truth. If we can't get through that step, so have some perspective on this, just getting the boots on, we're not going to be able to get out to the place of having fun. Obermeyer, Klaus. I heard he's 104. This guy skis out in Aspen, buttermilk. He's got Klaus's way. And he says every day he swims a mile. Every day you have to get out there and do it, even if you don't think about it, because if you let a day pass, you're going to miss it. Now, what if you are sick? That perspective, that age. I would say there's certain gear, tools that you need when you're sick. And one of them, going back to my episode from last week, is that 4-letter word, rest. Sometimes the action is no action. So last year with my daughter and those 13 weeks of ski school, we did get to the place where we realized that we were just going to spend that time in the car, being okay with her, working through getting the ski boots on, just to get out there. Even if it meant that she's not going in the lesson, she's just hanging out with mom for the afternoon. And it was really challenging to let go of me getting out and having my own ski day while she's having a lesson and just be right there with her. That perspective, moms, we got to have that perspective. What's our highest priority at the end of the day? Number one, I would say it's your health, your own health. Mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. You have to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your gear. You got to take care of your age. You got to take care of that perspective. And I feel like women, because we're so cyclical, my children have a lot of questions, by the way, right now about that cyclical nature because they've been watching the movie, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Where are my girls at who have seen this movie? You know, it is a coming of age story. But we know that there are certain times of the month where we can do certain things, but it will be a little harder. Perspective, age, just like being sick. Sometimes we could feel a little older. Maybe we're struggling through the flu or cold symptoms. So much compassion for those who are sick right now. Another loved one I just heard is sick. Many, many friends sick right now. So much empathy and compassion. We had the flu this year, and being sick is real. The action you probably need to take is rest, maybe some medicine, check in with your doctor. Health is the first thing. Fun comes next because the man who has his health has many dreams, and the man who does not has but one dream, which is to get their health back. Get that health back. So last week I was talking a little bit about the signature course that's coming up, Mom's Adventure Paradox signature course. If you want to know more about that, please reach out to my team, theadventureparadox.com. You can find us, theadventureparadox@gmail.com. You can find us. We have some really exciting things in the works for February. I can't wait to share all of these interviews we have coming from you, and we really want to hear from you. So please send us a text message if you liked this episode about the gap gear age perspective. Please share it with a friend, give us a review. Every little bit helps, and it would mean so much to us to hear from you. This week, I'm also interviewing my podcast mentor. She has just written this book, Abundant Ever After. It is a New York Times bestseller. You are going to want to check it out. Kathy Heller, Tools for Creating a Life of Prosperity and Ease. That's going to be an amazing interview. If you want a backstage pass, again, reach out to my team, theadventureparadox@gmail.com, and we will hook you up. If you were one of the lucky recipients of a book in this really cool Chicago Symphony wrapping paper, this moment is for you, and it's coming up on Thursday. So please reach out to us ASAP. Thank you so much for listening. I love you. More good things to come, and just stay true to yourself. Stay present. Remember, whatever age you are, you can always go into acting like a kid again. What's the saying? You're only young once, but you can be immature forever. Now, immaturity has a little bit of a bad ring to it, so let's scratch that one. But just listen to yourself. Be true to yourself wherever you're at, whatever cycle, whatever chapter. If there's sickness or your child's really struggling, come back down to meet them and yourself where you are. Have a beautiful day, last week of January, and we'll see you next month. Bye.